On the news, Senate denies allegations of senior members receiving 500 million naira for constituency projects. President Tinubu directs opening of land and air borders with Niger Republic. And 17 new and returning commissioners take oath of office on Wednesday. Glad to have you join us on News Now. I am Simisola Atiku. The Nigerian Senate has moved swiftly to dismiss allegations of corruption within its ranks, refuting claims made by Senator Jarigbe Agom Jarigbe of the People's Democratic Party. The senator had asserted that certain senior members pocketed 500 million naira each for constituency projects in the budget. In a press briefing held on Tuesday, Senator Yemi Adaramodu, the Senate spokesman and chairman of the Senate Committee on Media and Public Affairs, firmly rejected the accusations as baseless, emphasizing that there was no truth to the allegations put forward by Senator Agom Jarigbe. Correspondent Folashade Olusegun files the report from Abuja.
Some senatorial districts.
The controversy emerged during a heated debate sparked by Senator Abdul Ningi's assertion that the 2024 budget was padded by over 3.7 trillion naira. Senator Jarige's claim added floor to the already contentious deliberations. According to the senator, some senators are guilty of such practice, adding that some senior senators got 500 million naira each from the 2024 Appropriation Act.
We are going forth and back on these issues and coming up with issues of the budget and individual issues concerning what came to our various constituencies. If we want to go into those issues, all of us are culpable. Some senators here, so-called senior senators, got 500 million each. I am a ranking senator, I didn't get. Did I go to the press? I didn't get. Most of you got.
Contrary to claims, Senator representing Ekiti South Senatorial District Yemi Adaramodu highlighted that both Agom Jarigbe and Ningi relied on hearsay rather than concrete evidence to support their claims. He emphasized the importance of factual accuracy in such serious allegations.
Nobody. The senator that rose up to talk about 500 million said some people told him, and that he now wants to come and ask the question that where is my own 500 million? If it is true that there is 500 million, and they have the right to say that, and I have that right to say that. Look at me now making noise. So even if others are taking 500, I'm supposed to take extra. But there's nothing like that. There is nothing like that. There's nothing like that anywhere.
Regarding Senator Ningi's suspension and potential legal action, Senator Adaramodu remained tight-lipped, stating that it was not privy to Ningi's intentions regarding the matter. On his part, President Godswill Akpabio says the swift response of the Senate underscores its commitment to transparency and accountability amidst growing concerns over alleged financial impropriety within the Nigerian legislative body.
Amid the controversy trailing the allegations by Senator Abdul Ningi, the Senate President Godswill Akpabio has said the integrity of the Senate has become questionable. Although the allegation has been dismissed as being untrue both by the presidency and the legislative arm of the government, the development has unearthed non-transparency and unjustified financial allocations to the National Assembly, thus further casting doubt on its integrity. And to discuss this further, Ibukunoluwa James, a research and policy analyst at Budget, joins me on the news. Thank you for your time, Ibukunoluwa. Now, the allegation of padding of the 2024 budget by Senator Abdul Ningi has ruffled feathers in various quarters, with some saying that his suspension without investigating claims amounts to cover-up. But what are your thoughts on this?
Thank you so much for having me. I would say from our findings in budget, we've not found any evidence to substantiate the claim made by the senator. And his comment of the 3.7 trillion naira padding. According to our analysis, it shows that 28.77 trillion naira was passed by the National Assembly and signed into law by the president. However, breakdowns of this budget of some ministries, departments, and agencies of the government, which include government-owned enterprises, were excluded from the published budget document. So there's a published document out there that does not contain the government-owned enterprises. So in the regard of 25.4 trillion naira that constitutes the budget, I would say that some of these allocations are statutory allocations. So I won't say it is a cover-up, and I won't say there's something hanging around, but one would want to be sure that the budget has its loopholes. The issues with the budget is the fragmentation is opaque. There are some opaque items in the budget, and one that actually calls for questioning that one would want to look into, of course, as citizens of the country. And I would say it is important for us that we should look into the narrative, the incessant insertion of projects into the budgets by the National Assembly in one way or the other as affects the technical capacity of the MDAs, because there are some agencies that get allocations that are outside their mandates. There are some allocations that are budgeted under some agencies that are actually outside the agency's mandate, and thereby it affects the implementation of this project and the execution of this project. So saying it's a cover-up or not, one would have to actually look into the budget itself to ascertain one's decision, because there is no evidence that is enough for us to point at. Thank you.
Briefly now, the Senate has also denied allegations of senior members receiving 500 million naira for constituency projects. Now, what do these allegations mean for the Senate in terms of transparency?
So in terms of transparency, at the heart of this issue, associated to the arbitrary insertions by the Senate, by the House of Assembly. So 100 billion naira envelope has been earmarked for the National Assembly members to nominate projects in their constituencies. So going by this 100 billion naira envelope, some senators have gone beyond the 100 billion naira that has been earmarked. So some have inserted more projects in over 300 MDAs in the country. And some senior members of the Senate would have projects like street lights, boreholes. Some would have road construction in their constituencies. And when you look at the projects as a bulk, it becomes a very large amount compared to a regular member that has few projects. So, and by the time you sum up these projects, they add up to a particular amount. And so when the Senates are referring to money, to the monetary value of the projects that has been inserted, it's actually an uneven share. So I would say that the process, maybe what the senator was pointing at was how the uneven process went about, or the necessary transfer is, if that is his assertion, I would say that some certain people will get a larger amount as to others. So it is not necessarily cash transfer, I would say, in my opinion, but whether it was cash transfer or it wasn't cash transfer, or there are corruptions around it, that's a conversation for another day completely. Thank you.
All right, now Ibukunlua James, research and policy analyst at Budget. Thank you very much for sharing your insights. Moving on, President Bola Tinubu has directed the reopening of Nigeria's land and air borders with the Republic of Niger. In a statement, Ajurin Gelale, special advisor to the president on media and publicity, said the directive is in compliance with the decisions of the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government at its extraordinary summit on February 24, 2024 in Abuja. Nigeria had shut its borders against the landlocked West African nation in the wake of the coup that sacked Mohamed Bazoum as the democratically elected president on July 26, 2023. ECOWAS had insisted on the restoration of civil rule and the release of Bazoum. However, the Niger putschists rejected the proposals by ECOWAS and instead announced alongside Mali and Burkina Faso their exit from ECOWAS. Following a meeting in Abuja last month, ECOWAS had resolved to lift all the sanctions imposed on the three countries and continue to engage in dialogue with the putschists. Among other sanctions imposed on the Republic of Niger, which has now been lifted, are the ECOWAS no-fly zone on all commercial flights to and fro Niger Republic, all commercial and financial transactions between Nigeria and Niger, as well as service transactions including utility services and electricity to Niger Republic. Manufacturers in Nigeria say they have been badly impacted by the economic situation in the country, as some of them have had to either suspend operations or close shop. According to the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, MAN, in 2023 alone, over 700 manufacturing firms have shut down, while over 300 experienced distress. Local manufacturers are also battling with high inventory of unsold stocks. Our correspondent, Sydney Okafor, completes the story.
The business environment in Africa's largest economy is getting tougher by the day, and the chances of business owners keeping their businesses running are getting slimmer as cost of operations balloon. Even the Manufacturers Associations of Nigeria, MAN, reported that 767 manufacturers ceased operations and 335 went into distress in 2023 as a result of fluctuations in exchange rates, rising inflation, and other economic challenges that worsen the investment climate.
Just before this administration came in, we experienced very serious issues about our currency transition. We also witnessed the escalation in cost of inputs, including diesel, and also massive load shedding in electricity and even collapse of the national grid. So all these factors combined to impact on manufacturing business, and so we suffered a heavy blow.
Some of the local manufacturers say in operations are only managing to do so, but their warehouses are getting filled up of unsold goods as consumer demand has plummeted.
Pharmaceutical goods usually have expiry dates. They are dated, they have their shelf life, and it is really not funny. Some of those goods we've stockpiled, some we made losses, some expired. If I mean they expired on wholesale scale. We use truck, because why? Purchasing power of the customers out there has dropped.
The manufacturing sector right now is in life support. That's just it. A lot of companies are folding up. We need the government to do something, because we need to realize that any economy that is what is named depends on the manufacturing sector.
Nigeria is battling record inflation, which has been worsened by the continued depreciations of the naira. Access to foreign exchange is a big challenge. There is also the age-old issue power, which has badly impacted the manufacturing sector.
The crisis of accessing foreign exchange gets to its peak during this present administration. We bought dollar at the last rate 1,800 and something naira. That was extremely very high.
Right now, as I'm talking to you, the generator is running. You can hear at the background the sound of the generator. We have like 6, 7 generators, and they're all up, and they're all consuming diesel. You know the cost of diesel now? It's gotten to 1,007. Sometimes you can get at even 1,008 per liter. And we have to manufacture goods that are meant for an economy that is already in trouble.
The government says it will do all it can to support local manufacturers. Recently, it suspended the expatriate employment levy, which local manufacturers had kicked against. The government says it is also setting aside 200 billion naira in grants and loans to business owners and manufacturers as measures to alleviate the impact of fuel subsidy removal that triggered the economic hardship in the country. Sydney Okafor, TV360, Lagos.
17 new and returning commissioners have taken the oath of office at the council chamber of the Presidential Villa Abuja on Wednesday. The ceremony took place before the commencement of the Federal Executive Council FEC meeting. On November 8, 2023, President Tinubu had nominated 20 federal commissioners for the NPC, 9 of whom were appointed for a second term in office. Thereafter, Tinubu had asked the Senate to screen and confirm 19 nominees as NPC commissioners, but only 17 appeared before the Committee on National Identity Card and Population.
Today, we witnessed the swearing of 17 of them. Last 2 weeks, we had one from Lagos State. We still have 3 more outstanding to make the full commission. So we like to seize the opportunity to thank Mr. President for this appointment and for making sure that there's no vacuum created in the commission. This marks a critical step in assisting the commission to carry on the preparation for the conduct of the census. No date has been approved for us yet, but we made a recommendation to Mr. President. We're waiting his approval. It actually positions us very well in the preparation of the census, because you cannot, it's a national thing, so we have to be in every state of the federation preparing for the census. If you don't have a commissioner from that state, the pace of preparation for the census will slow down, because the director in the state alone cannot handle that. It needs a commissioner to really support him.
We'll take a break now, but coming up, Ghana opposition NCD's plan to use drones near polling stations sparks dispute. Stay with us for details of this and other stories. Welcome back. Here's a recap of our top stories. The Nigerian Senate has moved swiftly to dismiss allegations of corruption within its ranks, refuting claims made by Senator Jarigbe Agom Jarigbe of the People's Democratic Party (PDP). The senator had asserted that certain senior members pocketed 500 million naira each for constituency projects in the budget. In a press briefing held on Tuesday, Senator Yemi Adaramodu, the Senate spokesman and chairman of the Senate Committee on Media and Public Affairs, firmly rejected the accusations as baseless, emphasizing that there was no truth to the allegations put forward by Senator Agom Jarigbe. We also told you that President Bola Tinubu has directed the reopening of Nigeria's land and air borders with the Republic of Niger. In a statement, Ajuri Ngelale, special advisor to the president on media and publicity, said the directive is in compliance with the decisions of the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government at its extraordinary summit on February 24, 2024 in Abuja. Among other sanctions imposed on the Republic of Niger, which has now been lifted, are the ECOWAS no-fly zone on all commercial flights to and from Niger Republic, all commercial and financial transactions between Nigeria and Niger, as well as service transactions, including utility services and electricity to Niger Republic. Now, in case you missed any of our news bulletins or for more updates, you can catch us on Limex World TV and AVO TV or log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram and YouTube at TV360 Nigeria, or download our mobile app on Google Play Store, Huawei App Gallery and Apple Store. On Facebook, we're at TV360 Online. It's time for some business news. Let's now join Opeyemi Owosheni to bring us up to speed. What's the latest, Opeyemi?
Well, as Nigeria weighs the option of joining the economic bloc BRICS, economic experts believe that the potential for increased trade with BRICS countries presents Nigeria with numerous benefits. This agreement was made at a summit organized by UNSCC Foundation in collaboration with Universal Migration Enlightenment Center on Nigeria's proposed membership of BRICS. Speaking on the theme BRICS and Global South Collaboration, Problems and Prospects, the president of UNESC Foundation, William Sijoma, said joining the economic bloc BRICS would diversify Nigeria's trade markets, which could reduce economic vulnerability as well as enhance resilience to global economic shocks.
Let's call it spade a spade. The economy is no more nice for everyone. Dollar it was sometime 2,000 naira per dollar 2 months ago, and now it should be about 1,700. We can't continue like this. People hardly feed today. The masses are suffering. You understand? You can't buy anything. Most of you here you are paid, your salary earners. If they pay you 100,000, you can't even buy anything with it. So these are the reasons, and many others, why we should join BRICS. But if we join BRICS, our economy will be better, and of course, the indigenes will of course benefit from it.
This BRICS is of the idea that the countries should trade with each other with their own local currency. For example, there are about 54 countries in Africa. They cannot trade among themselves with their local currency. For them to trade themselves, they have to look for dollar. And you're in Nigeria, you know the consequences of looking for dollar. Even a village woman, a woman in the village, now hikes his price of his product. Ask him the reason. He will tell you depreciation of naira or dollar. So they are finding a way to correct these things. So that country like we can trade with Togo, Ghana, with local currency.
Industrial development is at a coma. Transformational agenda, everything has been a paperwork. It is time for us to look inward from visioning to sustainable delivery. Therefore, BRICS is the right way to go. South Africa, who went with BRICS today from $25 million in the year 2017, today they are recording $70 million. Where are we? Where are we going? When do we get there? And how do we get there?
We'll go on a short break and be back with stock market report. Nigeria's equities market furthered its northward movement by 0.4% on the third weekday of trading as investors bought shares of construction giant Julius Berger and Ecobank, as well as other gainers that occupied the league of top advancers. Now, the market breadth also ended on a positive note as 32 stocks advanced and 23 stocks declined. Julius Berger Nigeria led the gainers today, closing at 67 naira 10 kobo, followed closely by Ecobank, which closed at 22 naira 0 kobo. Now, at the end of the third weekday of trading on the Nigerian Stock Exchange NGX, a total of 326 million volumes of shares were exchanged in 9,570 deals, corresponding to a market value of over 9 billion were traded. Now, compared with the previous NGX trading day, that's Tuesday, March 12th, today's data shows 42% decline in volume, 36% decline in turnover, and 76% decline in deals. Well, it's switched to our select global stocks to see how they are doing today. Well, it's a similar case as well for our select global stock, as the UK FTSE and US Dow Jones continued their northward movement and ended in the bulls at 0.31% and 0.40%. Well, reverse is the case, however, for Japan's Nikkei, as it maintained its southward movement and ended in the bears at 0.26%. Well, that's it on both business and stock market report. Back to you, Simisola, for the rest of the news.
Thank you for that update. On the foreign scene, Ghana's electoral body has rejected a plan by the main opposition party to use drones during the upcoming elections. The National Democratic Congress, NDC, says the use of drones will be aimed at preventing potential irregularities in December's general election. But the Electoral Commission says such a move would contravene security protocols and jeopardize the confidentiality of the voting process. In December 2024, a new president is expected to be elected when Nana Akufo-Addo steps down after completing his second term in office. Well, up next is Entertainment Report on News Now.
Edochie has claimed that he is not married to his second wife, Judy Austin. He made this known in response to a suit filed against him by his ex-wife, May Edochie. May had accused her husband of adultery and filed for divorce. However, Yu told the court that the relationship that existed between him and Judy Austin was all about skit making. He maintained that there is no legally recognized union between them. May filed for a divorce against her husband in August 2023, with details of the court proceedings having been kept hush.
On sports, Quadri Aruna has maintained his position as the top-ranked African player globally, holding the 11th spot ahead of African Games winner Omar Assar from Egypt, who is ranked 22nd globally. The latest rankings follow the conclusion of the table tennis event at the ongoing 13th African Games in Ghana. Meanwhile, Ofyong Edem from Nigeria leads the surge of African players in the latest rankings for week 11 of 2024 by the International Table Tennis Federation, released on Tuesday. Edem, who won bronze in the women's singles event in Ghana, gained 45 steps up to be rated 97 as the best-ranked female Nigerian player in the world. That's all on News Now, and thanks for watching. See you next time.